Hi everyone, this video is going to help you with the 10.2 big ideas. I'm going to go through the questions and give you some examples and some help. So number 1 says explain how to find the probability of an event. The probability of an event is the ratio of the blank to the blank. So if you can't remember what goes in each of those blanks, make sure that you go back to your notes it was Friday, this past Friday. If you don't have it in your notes, you can rewatch the video that I made for that day that had it in it, or you can look on textbook page 408 for that answer. So a few different places you can find that. Number 2, can the probability of an event be 1.5? Explain. So this is talking about, there was a diagram that was talking about the likelihood of things, and 0% was was impossible, and 100% was certain, and it's asking you if you can have 1.5, which is the same as 150%. Again, if you need help, that's going to be on page 408 of your textbook. Exercise 3. Choose a real-life example of an event that is impossible and an event that is certain. So again, we're looking at page 408 or in your notes from Friday. And impossible means it has a 0% chance of happening. It will not happen. There is no chance at all. So you're going to pick one of these 4 things and drag it up there, depending on which one you think cannot happen. Whoops, that's not the eraser. And then you're going to do the same thing with certain. Certain means 100%. It will absolutely certainly happen. There's no chance that it can't happen. It absolutely has to happen. So you're going to pick one of those 4 and drag it up there. Exercise 4. You are playing a game using the spinners shown. So there's spinner A, spinner B. You want to move down. On which spinner are you more likely to spin down? So you can see there's a down here on spinner A, and then there's one here and one here on spinner B. So it's asking you which one is more likely and why you would want to be on that spinner. So is it spinner A or spinner B, and why? Number 6, describe the likelihood of an event given its probability. So again, we're talking about that continuum that starts at 0% and 100%. Then we have 50%, and then there was all this stuff in the middle. Again, this should be in your notes. If you can't find it in your notes, it's on page 408 of the textbook. So your soccer team wins 3/4 of the time. Well, 3/4 is 75%, which is in this section here. So you need to look up which word is for this section. Your options are either impossible, unlikely, equally likely to happen or not happen, likely, and certain. So it's one of those 5. Number 7 is asking you to do the same thing to use this continuum here on page 408 or in your notes or in the video from Friday that talks about the probability. So if there's a 0% chance you will grow 12 more feet, which of those words is it? Number 8 and 9 are asking you to do the same thing. So we're describing the likelihood, so you're giving the word. Anytime we see likelihood, it's the word. 1 is the same as 100%, because if we move the decimal point over twice, it gives us 100%. 1/5, if it's easier for you to see it as a percent or a decimal, 1/5 is 0.20, which as a percent is 20%. All right. Number 10, exercise 10. You have a 50% chance of playing the correct note on a violin. Describe the likelihood of playing the correct note. Again, you're using that continuum, using 50%. Which word? Number 11, you randomly choose one shirt from the shelves. Find the probability. Your probability of choosing a red shirt. So probability of finding a red shirt is going to be the number of red shirts, which is the number of favorable outcomes, which in this case there's only 1, out of the total number of shirts, or the total number of possible outcomes. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 possible shirts. So we have 1 out of 10. You can't simplify that, so 1/10 is your answer. Number 13 says you randomly choose one shirt from the shelves. Find the probability of the event. Probability of not choosing white. So we're going to have probability of not white. So our favorable outcomes are all the not white ones. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 not white, and there's 10 total. We can't simplify 9/10, so that goes there. We're going to do the same thing for this one. We're looking for the probability of choosing an orange. And our total will stay the same. So you need to find what goes here. Sorry about that. Okay. Number 16 says describe and correct the error in finding the probability of not choosing a blue shirt from the shelves. So we have not blue. This is saying this student said it's 4 out of 10, and then that simplifies to 2/5. So what did this student do incorrectly? Think about where that 4 came from and think about why that 4 is wrong and pick one of these based on what you think it's right. And then it's asking you to do the problem on your own. Number 17. The rules of a contest say there's a 5% chance of winning a prize. 400 people enter the contest. Predict how many people will win the prize. So for this, it's kind of like a proportion. So we know that our whole is 400 people. Let me put this percent over 100. If there's a 5% chance of winning, that means that 5% of the people are going to win, could win. So we need to find what 5% of 400 is, and then when you solve for that, it will give you this answer. Exercise 19. A dodecahedron has 12 sides numbered 1 through 12. So you can see the example of that number cube with 12 sides. Find the probability and describe the likelihood of each event. So the probability is numbers, and the likelihood is words. So rolling a number less than 9, well, that could be less than 9. We could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So there's 8 possibilities out of 12 total. So you now need to simplify that and then decide which word describes that number, that likelihood. Exercise 20. So the next few are going to incorporate some science. I'm hoping you remember your Punnett squares. A Punnett square is a grid used to show possible gene combinations for the offspring of 2 parents. In the Punnett square shown, a boy is represented by XY, a girl is represented by XX. Complete the Punnett square. So I'm hoping you guys remember how to do that. A Punnett square is a grid used to show possible gene combinations for the offspring of 2 parents. In the Punnett square shown, a boy is represented by XY, a girl is represented by XX. So you should have filled that out. Explain why the probability of 2 parents having a boy or girl or having a girl is equally likely. So what's the probability out of 4? And then you have to simplify for each one of these. And then that goes in here. The last few are some review exercises. So number 23 says solve the inequality. If you remember, this is where you need to find a 0 pair. So we're going to subtract 5 from both sides. Show your 0 pair. And I can let you guys do 9 minus 5 on your own and figure out what x is less than. Again, when graphing, remember that the colored in circles is for symbols like this that are also equal to. The unshaded circles are when they are not equal to. All right. This one, just remember to change it to addition before you start. So keep change, change. Now using this, you can find a 0 pair. And one last review exercise. Find the value of x. So remember that when you add up each of these angles, they should all equal 360 because all quadrilaterals, their angles add up to 360 degrees.